In this video, I'll show you how to solve this algebra problem. So what is one possible solution to the rational equation x divided by x minus 1 minus 2 over x equals 1 over x minus 1? So the first step is I'll just rewrite it. So x over x minus 1 minus 2 over x equals to 1 over x minus 1. Now, the first step is you want to find one common denominator. So the first step is you want to find one common denom. So one common denominator. Now, what's a common denominator? We have x minus 1, that'll definitely be common, and we have x. So when you're normally multiplying and adding whole numbers, you have to completely multiply. But when you're doing rational and expressions and you're using variables, what you can do is you don't have to completely multiply it out. You can just write it out and then cancel. I'll show you. So right here we have x minus 1, x, and x minus 1. So x minus 1s are common, but the middle equation minus 2 over x doesn't have an x minus 1. So what we can do is we can take this entire thing and then multiply it by x times x minus 1. But we can just do it by individual numbers. So our common denom, right here, let me rewrite that. So our common denominator is equal to x times x minus 1. This is our common denominator. And we can rewrite that and multiply by each one of these expressions. So we'll take this, do it x times x minus 1. Now we can do x times x minus 1. Now x times x minus 1. Now that may seem confusing at first, right? But essentially we're just multiplying the entire equation, but it's easier to visually represent it when you're writing it like this. And this is how I solve it. So you're going x times x minus 1 to each of these. And what you can do now is you take your current denominator from the original equation and then you cancel off the matching one. Because this is a common denominator, the original denominator will always be included in the common denominator. So you can simply cancel it off, right? So we have x minus 1. So over here we have x minus 1. So here we have x minus 1, right? And we can simply, all we have to do is we take x minus 1 and we can cancel it off right here. So we take this and then we go cancel, cancel. Now we're left with x times x. X times x is nothing but x times x is just x squared. So for the next one, we have minus 2 over x. And now x is our is one denominator, so we cancel it off in our common denominator. So now we have, cancel this off, and now we have minus 2x minus 1. And don't forget the subtract. You need to remember to keep the subtraction there. So now, what's minus 2 times x minus 1? That would be minus 2x plus 1, because negative times negative is positive. Sorry, plus 2. So if you just write this out, this is just minus 2 times x minus 1 minus 2x plus 2. And now we have our final one, which is just 1 over x minus 1, and then we just cancel it off. So just cancel it off, and this will become x times 1 plus is equal to, this is just equal to, is equal to x. So you got to remember to keep the signs. So now, let's go ahead and solve this. So let's just make this a quadratic equation. So all we have to do is just bring over this x. So minus x minus x. And now our new equation is x squared minus 3x plus 2 equals 0. And since it's equals 0, we can solve for x. So now this will become, so write our CAB table. So multiply, add. What's two numbers that multiply to 2, but then add to -3? That would be -2, -1. So our two numbers are -2, -1. And now we have x minus 2, x minus 1. So now what we have to do is, of course, equals 0. So what we have to do next is, we have to set this whole thing, and then we take x minus 2 equals 0. So that means we do add 2, x equals 2. And then we do x minus 1 equals 0. Plus 1, plus 1, x equals 1. So now you have two different solutions, x equals 1 and x equals 2. But the question is asking for one possible solution. So we'll just choose one of these. I'll just go with x equals 2. So x equals 2 is our final solution. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe and watch our future videos. Thank you.